is something that we can either unconsciously or consciously be aware of. And a lot of the times, unfortunately, we float by life and we're not conscious of our expectations. Now, for those that journey with us regularly, you would hear me say this, and this comes in marriage counselling a lot, and I believe it's in a lot of different relationships. The definition of disappointment is unmet expectations. And a lot of the times we don't voice the expectations we have of somebody, whether it be our spouse, whether it be our kids, whether it be our leaders, whether it be God himself. And unfortunately, those unmet expectations lead to discontent, disharmony, disjointedness. And this is true when it comes to Jesus himself. We can be disconnected or disappointed with Jesus himself. So we try to go to church, we try to do the good thing, but yet we don't feel that encounter that Jesus so yearns for. But we have expectations just like, and you might hear me say this, and you might turn around and go, no, I don't, Adam, that's not true. But yes, we do when it comes to how we live our lives today. We have expectations just like the people of Jesus' day. They expected their Saviour, their hero, their Messiah to be this triumphant king that turns up in chariots, that turns up in this blaze of glory that is going to nullify their enemy. But how did he arrive to his death? We pick this up in Zechariah 9:9. Now, this was said hundreds of years before Jesus actually did this. And nobody understood it. Just like Nicodemus, and that's probably the biggest thing that came out of that video just before. Not the wounds in Jesus' hands or his feet, and as they're cleaning him, the blood-stricken body. But the moment that Nicodemus turns around and goes, I now understand. I now understand. And God yearns for that in each and every single one of us. I now understand, because the prophecy of Jesus turning up on a donkey, hang on, not just a donkey's foal, that nobody had ever ridden, turns up in this humbleness. Zechariah 9:9, rejoice, O people of Zion. Shout in triumph, O people of Jerusalem. Look, your king is coming. He is righteous and victorious, yet he is so what? So humble. Riding on a donkey. Riding on a donkey's colt. Now, which leads me into my next invitation for all of us this morning. And this next invitation, I struggled to actually write this down because I do this, and it's die to reason. Now, we try to make sense of everything in our lives, in our world. We try to make sense, and depending on how well you're a thinker, you might think about strategies that can be put in place, whether it be the way that we live our life, or whether it be the way that we do church, or whether the way we interpret the Bible. The invitation today is to die to reason. Now, yes, there is an answer for everything, but sometimes we need to trust that God's hand is greater than our reason. John 3:18. Jesus is captured saying this. Listen to this and take this in. The wind blows wherever it wants. Just as you can hear the wind, but you can't tell where it comes from or where it is going. So you can't explain how people are born of the Spirit. One of the most controversial things that I'm going through at the moment, and it's evident that it comes up on Good Friday, is that people can go to church for their whole life but not encounter Jesus. We can live this life that we portray as holy and good, but still not have that relationship with Jesus. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, and that whoever believes, we die to our reason because we believe in something greater than us. And do you know what's funny? God believed in us before we actually believed in him. He believed in us enough that part of his plan was to send his one and only Son, part of him, to be completely mocked, strung up on a cross with all of his shame and all of his guilt. Here I was saying his, because he's captured what we experience and he's brought it to death. And we have this invitation to not live in shame, not live in guilt, not live in worldly ways, but to be what? Born of the Spirit. Born of the Spirit. Will you join us as we sing our next worship song?